workshops on Karam, but it's always been integral to another talk or katha. So I couldn't find a Karam philosophy specific PowerPoint, so I'm have to make a new one, which I was really disappointed. Even after multiple sets of the Karam, I couldn't find one that I'd done before. So some of the people in the room have done my Japsad course, so some of it's familiar. So one of the students did look and she saw this in the slides because I shared more before. You can have the slides after the talk, so we've done the discussion part already with yourselves. But the slides, we'll make them available on PowerPoint if you want them. You can have them. So I'm always open source. You can always have anything that I've done with it. Start of Garama actions. Where does it start? Where does our story start? So in Baramaha, which is the 12 months Shabbat by Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji, so that's the second version, not the first by Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji into Karirag. So Baramaha Mand, in this, the first line, this is of the Shabbat, which is Kirta Karva Ke Vichre Kar Kirpa Me Logo Ram. So it says is Kir Kitte Hoed Karam, the actions that we've committed, Ke Vichre, because of the actions we committed, we are now Vishre, or say in English, they're separated from God. So Sate Kite Hoed Karma Ansar Asi Grab to Vishre. That's the simple arc in Punjabi. Yeah? So what do we say after that? Kar Kirpa Me Logo Ram. God bless us so we can be you. Ram means God is all pervasive, Ramya Ram. Yeah? So that's what the Prarthana is at the start of the Baramaha. What I want you to do as homework after this talk is go to that shop, 133 under there, and read the whole of that verse. So it's the first verse of that shop here. So what it talks about after that point, it talks about us being how we're separated. So how a field can't get irrigated without water, how a cow is useless without milk, and how we're useless without God. That's what it goes on to say, the shop does. But the point is the start, which is for this talk, which is that's what we've got to do a stage it, all of us in this room. Unless you're a Brahmgyani, you're already there and you're just pretending now, which that could be the case as well. So, oneness, we say it on God, but really the whole of our Sikhi is based upon reducing everything in our Sikhi, all our Gurbani, everything back down to it on God, then it, name of the whole God. So our whole Sikhi is based on reductions to one God in everything we do, feel, see, touch, think. So we see God in everything. So we were one with God. That's what we say, yeah? I'll put in brackets, still are, but for another time. I'm not doing that talk today, so I'm going to stop at that point, yeah? But we were one with God at one point, and then we got Vishnu because of our Karam. So if you take it into Abrahamic knowledge, you could say, we're all Eve, and we went at the fruit from the Garden of Eden, and then we made an action to a reaction, and now everybody's sitting in Semitic doing this talk or listening. Yeah? That's what we're here. So we acted, action led to a reaction, and we got caught in the illusion of the world or creation. And our action, so earlier on you got said on there, action led to a reaction. So consequences of your actions. So at the start of time immemorial, we were one with God. We had all knowledge of everything, and then we started acting in the world, which led us to then start developing. And we got into a chronic amnesia. Yeah? So we're all suffering from chronic amnesia. We don't remember who we really are, what our true identity is. We're on top of that, saying, Anand live shortly, lagi maya. Live shortly, when the baby is born, and it breaks its attachment to God because we're meditating to get out of the hell, which is the womb. The illusion of the world comes onto the baby immediately. Yeah, and that's the same with us. We've got attached to the world and creation. So some of you are Man United fans, God bless you, yeah, poor Red Devil, that just loses all the time, yeah? Some of you are Liverpool fans, whatever it is, it doesn't matter who it is or what it is, something's generally reacting into you to get attached to something, yeah? And now we're all stuck. That's why you're welcome to this talk as well. Including me, I'm not free, let's be clear, yeah? Because you might be watching Netflix yourself. But anyway, 8.4 million lives is what we go through to get to this one. 3.5 billion years, human life only one chance to break and free from this whole cycle. So this is the one chance we have in this 3.5 billion years. And in this life, in my family, people have died when they were 37, 22, and that's still worse as well. So if you think of God in there, some people don't even get a chance. Like, we say the average age might be 70. You might not get to 15, you might not get to 25. You don't know, do you? Yeah? I've got to a certain age in this life now, but in previous lives, I don't know how old I live. So this is the one chance we've got now. So human life is a cycle where we can make or break ourselves for the future. This is our time now. So we've got here, other Teri Panahari. So other life forms are your water carriers, they're your slaves. Humans are supreme on earth, that's what they are, yeah? Istarati mein teri sakdari. So he's saying, on this earth, you're the Sardar, you're the ruler, you're the sovereign. That's what we are as human beings. So I said about Harjinder. So there's a point of that Bibi made there, yeah? That he Brahmgyani Bibi, yeah? Kalmanda Varaya, that Ishwar Kirpa. We have two concepts here, yeah? So, Kalmanda Varaya, so when you've done something and you say, oh, Liverpool lost, I did 15 episodes and they're still lost, yeah? And you say, Kalmanda Siga, yeah? They weren't supposed to win, yeah? They weren't supposed to lose, whatever it was, yeah? So you then blame God, or you say, oh, it's destiny, and we just like get out of things easily like that. Oh, I was supposed to get up from at 4 o'clock. I went to sleep at 3 watching football or something, or playing COD with my friends. And then I didn't get up before, so that's God's hook, rather than anything there. So your whole stupidity stays up till 3 a.m. to get up before and it's not going to happen, is it? So we do those sort of things as human beings. We're going to talk about that later on in the talk. If I talk too fast, I'm sorry. I've got a habit of doing it, but you barely humans should understand. London is But anyway, Ishwar Kirpa. So Ishwar means God in the creation. So what is that Kirpa? We've got Ishwar Kirpa in human life now. What would it be? Functioning human body, free of debilitating disease. So what that means is, if you are in this talk, you've got nothing that's stopping you from thinking and talking and walking and living your life in the world. Even if you've got a disability, some people still function in the world. So if you're still functioning, then that's the first part of Kirpa. Second part, true Guru. You all got that instead of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Good company and Changi Sangat. You can get back yourselves. Some people can't get out of their circles. They might be living in that abusive house or abusive relationship, or a place. They might be in prison. They might live in a refuge. So they can't get out. People who are directly around all the time. But most of you have got free choice to be able to do that. Yeah? Food and shelter. If you got that as well, if you got all these things, then in actuality, God has given you the tools to realize it. And it's your own fault if you don't. You got no one else to blame. Yeah? If someone's born with a disease where they're mentally ill from birth or whatever it may be, or they can't think properly, they've got some sort of disease, then we can say, but all we got to want to be due, that person's actually seeded that themselves in previous births, but we'll get to afterwards. So it's your job. If you've got this issue, it's no one else's. Can you put a dummy in his mouth? Sweet little. You got any sweets? In the sweet. Sorry. Destiny fate only apply mostly down to your previous birth and current birth. So you can change fate and destiny too, to an extent. So it might be, I don't know, let's say I went around Berlin Marathon. I did 13.5 miles. I already started the marathon injured. It's a true story, by the way, yeah. Because I'm a fat slob and I'm just stupid. But anyway, so around half the marathon, 13 miles. And there's a little muscle here which I never knew existed until that day, called VMO. Yeah? And my VMO basically popped after 18 miles. So it literally just came out, sort of thing. I screamed, done a few while being on it probably. Yeah. Started stretching out and started walking. And I actually phoned my friend in Wolverhampton to say, what should I do? While I'm on the marathon, this is, yeah? So for the next 13 miles, I literally, every, I don't know, half a mile, I don't know what it was yet, it'd pop. And then I'd walk. And then I'd stop running again. So I fit half the marathon like that, literally, yeah? And I'd already know as I was by myself in Berlin. So, if I hadn't been a good sick, yeah, and if I hadn't been doing arm jumping, that might have been that my leg got amputated that day, or I actually broke my leg that day. Does that make sense? So the Karam is still the same. I still have to endure something on that day, but because I'm a good sick, because I'm supposedly good, yeah, I might have reduced the effect of that. So it's supposed to happen still, but you can reduce the effect of it. So there's Sakya and Sikhi where you can listen to the Buddha side, where people, their Karam gets changed, isn't it? So there's Sakya around prostitutes and money and things like that. Yeah, even like a stab from a knife coming, a stab from a needle or something. Yeah, so there's those examples which I'm not going to go into. So this is the whole shab by Kabir. We haven't quoted the whole shab, let me be clear, yes, so we've just taken select from a section of it. सो गो सेवा दे पर मैं गुरु दी सेवा करके भक्ति करके फिर की होया हल्की निकला. So after doing bhakti in a previous incarnation ourselves, all of us sitting here, we did some sort of devotion to God and then what happened? Then we got this human life because of our previous good actions. That's how we've got this human life. That's how we're sitting here today. Is there he goes this body, the angels want this body. Yeah, so when you look at, like, you watch the movies of the Greek gods and other things like that, yeah, our philosophy doesn't believe in all these things, but we say the angels, and the Christian and Abrahamic faiths talk about the angels a lot. Yeah, so I don't know, they think God, which is the male version, 3.3 billion, I don't know, billion, and there's something 3 billion female versions of it as well. So the water, the sun, all the energies in the world made by angels. What it's saying, yeah, if there goes in there, those angels, they want this human body, because they know they can only get freed from transmigration if they actually do bad in the human life. So the angel life is just like you going on holiday somewhere. It's like a reward. So the angel life, they only do that as a function for a certain amount of time, and then they get thrown back on earth. And they know it's only in human life that they're going to be able to further themselves. So they're not even liberated as well. So that's why we've now been given this human body. So what should we do? We should do bhajan. We should meditate on God. Hari di seva, we should do seva of God. If you're going to say what's seva, Gurbani also said har seva mukh amrit naam. Ki hari di seva jab karni hai mukh amrit naam. You should be meditating upon naam when you're doing hari seva. So any seva that you do, doesn't matter what it is, you should always be meditating if you can at that same time. We'll see if you've got. Pajo gobind pool mat javo manas jan ka eni lafus. Pajo gobind meditate on the voice of the world, the Lord of the universe. Pool mat javo. Epon follow na jayo itu. Don't forget this, yeah. Mat javo. So it's like an emphasis saying, don't, whatever you do not forget this. You're here to meditate upon God. Manas jan ka eni lafus. This is the whole purpose of human life. Jabalav jara rog nahi aya. So this goes back to the point earlier about Ishwar Kirpa. We've got it at the moment, but Jabalab Jara Rog Nahi Aya. But that's our human body might be functioning now. Most of us are okay and capable and able bodied in this room. But when you get Jara, old age, your body won't function the same. I've seen Siane in my extended family, when they're really old, they're sitting there literally 12 hours a day doing a mala. Yeah, I don't know if they did it earlier, but they're doing it at the end. Yeah. But we might not get the opportunity of old age even, yeah. We've not got disease, yeah. So until we haven't got these things of disease or old age, Akaal until death hasn't taken upon this body, body, yeah. Until the point comes where you start losing function of your voice, yeah, again in old age or by disease, what it may be, yeah. You should meditate upon God, how a bird does, crying out for water. So Saragapani, a sarag really is a rain bird. A rain bird lives in rainforests. It cries out for water, but the problem with the rain bird is it doesn't drink water through its beak. It's got to point to its back, and the water falls through there, to the back. But when we say it gets satiated, really is not even through that rainfall. There's a certain water which is called, Swanti Born. The Swanti Born only comes out when there's a certain constellation of stars in the sky. And when that constellation of stars makes it rain, that raindrop, when it falls into the sea, it makes a pearl. Yeah? So there's a whole philosophy to that, yeah, and you can look it up, it actually all exists, yeah, you'll find ingredients and stuff as well. So what the Sadik Bani is saying, meditate upon God until you get that one way of perfection. But what the rain bird does, it screams out for that all day and night. And that's how we've got to scream out to God. So now, in terms of actions, how do we commit actions? What are the senses, or what are we going to say, organs of action, yeah? Karam Indriya. Karam Indriya, normally we just say the hands, the feet, the mouth, generally, yeah? So your hand, you touch, you feel, you might slap, you might do other things with your hands. Your mouth, you can swear, you can meditate, yes, you could sing. Your feet, you're going to go towards things. With your feet, you might kick with them as well. Genitals and your anus, yeah, I don't need to go into all this. And that's the Babaya Samasariam, yeah? Yeah? But anyway, classification of the Karam. So how do we classify all of our Karam? How do they work? How do they get classified into how it's working? the system. So we have three things, yeah. Vartaman Kiryaman is me coming here to the talk and deciding to have the Jada Cup that Mandeep Singh sent me and the Bani, which I haven't started yet. That's personal choice. I could have said no to the cup of tea. I could say no to the water from past thirsty already, yeah, so I might eat it. But it's daily, Karam, so it might be you going to your bathroom, deciding what shower gel to use, yeah, what toothpaste to use, just daily things. But the daily things then become the other things as well, yeah. So you do have free will. We don't believe in human life that you don't have free will. We have free will to create your now and in the future as well, and to change the past. So human life is that powerful. And the other thing is of our modern Kaljugi era, we have no understanding of the world system or even planetation. So you got Tesla and you got Musk trying to go to, Mars or something, yeah? If you do Bhakti, you can just go to different realms now. Sitting in your house, it's made. Yeah? You don't have to get a Tesla, you don't have to get a spaceship. You can do that, yeah? When you go to India next, I can tell you where there's portal points to go to different realms. But don't come back to me when you get beat up by the wrong master who's doing the border force, you know what I mean? It's getting on the plug and you get thrown back down. But these things all exist, and they've never left the world. Or is it God, it all goes gupti, all goes hidden. But our Sikhi and our Brahmapara includes all that stuff. But we don't want to test the water. We don't want to do the meditation to see or feel or know what that is. And then some of us who do, then we become fake Babbe, yeah? And we make a stand in somewhere in Medicare and we get caught here one day with that. Whatever happens, yes. But the point is, the Bhakti Marg has that everything in it, but we've got to actually make the step towards it. So Vartman Kiryaman, your daily actions. Vararab is your reward element. So the reward element would be things like we've got in here. Food you will receive without any effort. Yeah. So sadhu sants in different grants when you read Sakya, what they do is some of them, I'm supposed to do this human experiment, which I'm not going to do. He got to do it alone, yeah. So my test for Prarabdha was going to be this. I'll just tell you mine, but I've not done it yet. Which was to go to India. I'll go to a certain data there, and I was going to go out the front door with just one kashera in my hand, in something, one stick, and I was going to walk to Hardwar from there. Hardwar drive from there is 4.5 hours or 5 hours, but I was going to walk to Hardwar from there. And the test is, I'm saying to a camera, I don't know if I'm going to do it yet. The test is I walk to Hardwar. I don't ask anyone for any food. I don't ask anyone for any shelter. If someone offers me food, I eat it. Otherwise, I don't eat the whole way. Someone offers me shelter, I'll take the shelter. Otherwise, I don't do it at all. So then I'm living completely on the reward element of what I'm supposed to get that day. Does that make sense? So if I'm supposed to get that food, I will get it. It'll still come to me. So different sadhu sants in the past have tested the Bharab. So even if they're sitting on Mount Everest, the food still comes from there. Yeah? And if you're going to question this, how can this happen? Read the Shabd Kahire Manchit Negodum Ja Har Jiyo Parya. Sal Vathar Me Janto Pai, which means God has put an ant in a sal of Vathar, which means a stone. And in that stone, the ant lives and is given food in there. So some of you in the room know who Master Narendra Singh was. I can't keep him just keep me, yeah? So I was in Master Narendra Singh just by accident in Pakistan. I met him and I was going to meet someone else, but he didn't recognize me. But anyway, when we had the conversation in the room, being another Singh, there's three of us in the room, he said his father served in Burma as part of the British Army. And in Burma, he had basically a butter, a stone that he'd make his roti on. So his food would be cooked on that as a daba. And he said every day there'd be like a little circle on the roti, which was kacha, which was uncooked. And he said when we're going to get posted from there to move to the next point, he said, Chakkar kiya, why is the roti always kacha from that point? So he used to just rip off the kacha part, throw it and seek the roti. So what he did is he smashed it. When he smashed it, he found an ant in there, in that little part, which wasn't where his roti used to be kaching. And in there was also grain in there for the ant. So it's completely enclosed. How does the grain get in there? Yeah? So there's other things that exist in our world, which I'm not going to go into today, which is quite amazing in terms of science and stuff like that. We're one of the best ones, although mention this was, there's a Shabadana, Jaliki Mashili Kudur, I think, I can't remember the Bhakti now, basically saying, how can a fish eat a date? And the people who questioned Bhakti, they said, yeah, look, this is Maharaj saying really clearly all you lot who believe in Shakti and Dharma. And then the saints found from like Discovery or whatever, they found a video of a fish jumping out of the water onto the deck and jumping back into the water. So it's your translation of the shop. The translation was given to say, people say this is impossible, it's stupid. How can a tiger live with a goat? And the shoulder tiger living with a goat as well. So those two shops, bunk the in that shop. Yeah? Actually, the shop. But anyway, so what about these things you will get without any effort? So you might get, I don't know, your Massey giving you 500 kids. One of my friends donated 100 acres in India, yeah, to a certain sunstar. So he had the acres to give, he gave it. But the sunstar got it without any effort. We didn't go to a certain person, but in your own life, you might inherit things without trying anything. Yeah, so some of you might have generational wealth, you might have other things that come to you in your life. You could go into your garden and smell it and find a ruby in the garden if God wants to give you one. It does happen, yeah. Just don't stop digging. Center the God are things which are fixed. So again, you can change these to an extent, but it doesn't mean they're completely fixed. So don't get tied up on your destiny and your fate. You can change that as well. So I firmly believe I was supposed to get married this life. Yeah, but I was too scared of my future wife, so I didn't. Yeah. And a son saved me from that, yeah, from making that mistake. But the thing is, I firmly believe I was supposed to get married. I think it was in my garden, but I dodged that bullet. So people would say, how can you do that? You can't do that. Do you know what I mean? But I think I did, yeah. But anyway, so to an extent, but some of these you can't change. So your birthplace, time of birth, who your parents are, yeah, your wife or your husband, your children, how many you're going to have, yeah, the death, your time of death, the cause of death, and the place of death, yeah. So there's certain things you can't change, yeah. So there's certain things which are into God which you're going to have to undergo possibly, yeah. But our Sikh sage, you can change everything. So even the center of God, so like me, I've avoided the marriage bullet this life, yeah, to this point. The point is, I've avoided that, so I've changed the Karam still, even though it's a fixed one. Do you get it? If I tomorrow turn around and say, all right, let's get married, it's still going to be the same BP. That won't change. Does that make sense? So you can go and play with your nose in any trough, yeah, and play the field. But when you're going to get married, it's going to be the same one. Yeah? Don't know if you dated for 6 months or 9 months, yeah, it will still be the same one. We'll take out the gun, yeah? So that's the Karam, that's how it works in terms of our backlog and our future as well. So you create a system from that. In Kaljug, in previous jugs, there was different methods. Stand on your leg for 100 years and meditate and do other things, yeah? So our Sikhi and our Gurbani says, you no longer need to do any of these methods. Our Sikhi just says, meditate upon God and realize God. That's what it says. That's all Gurbani says, yeah? So the one thing that all the Granths sort of allude to is Nishkam. So this is like Vedanta Granths and philosophy Granths that you read on. And what they say is to do Nishkam Karam. Nishkam Karam means to do actions which are without a motive. Yeah? So even if you're doing things for goodness, you have to relinquish that goodness afterwards. You can't start from goodness, but afterwards it's a quite developed concept. I'm not going to go into it today. But the point is to do things without any motive. Yeah? So without any reward in mind. So you're doing seva not because you want a child. Yeah? Or you want a better job. Or you want this or that. You're doing it just for God, let's say. So that's the only motive you've got. But what we're saying in Kaljug is that everything's operated by Naam Japna. No other method matters in Kaljug. So Gurbani said, Abu Kalwa Ik Naam Bo Bo, yeah? So he's saying just meditate on one Naam. You don't need to do any actions. Yeah? The only action you need to do is Naam Japna. That's what's going to get you through everything. And if you think of our normal human lives, we go to work, we go to school, we come back. But Gurbani is actually saying you don't need to do any of that. So Gurbani says do Naam Japna. Yeah, every day we need it over God's Handy. Study Gurbani and its meanings. Yeah? And the only thing we're here to do is realize God. If you test that, God will still give you food and you'll still survive. My nephew, yeah, he's in India now, he's been there 4 years. He gets more money and more things than I get. He don't do any work. Yeah? If you stop, your question's right, yeah. But the thing is, where we qualify it, if you've already done the Punjab, got married and had kids, yeah, you can't get out of that. So you've actually created that role for yourself now. So you've actually now created an action which led to a reaction. And so now you're going to have to, as your duty as a mother or a sister, whatever's in the world, you're going to have to fulfill that duty. But if we look at the history of the gurus and the Bhagats, they did everything wrong in terms of worldly sense. So if you look at Guru Nanak, like everyone says to me, oh, my nanny 2 weeks ago on the phone, on there, I think I could see a head, like a mother. You don't have to use FaceTime, this is ridiculous, yeah. You could see like a spot on and something, yeah. But anyway, she was like, what the Akaal, yeah, what the Akaal, yeah. But the point is, for her, that's what's her fulfillment, yeah. But if we actually dedicate to God, so we use like the Gurus as an example, Guru Sahib ne vyah kita. See, Guru Nanak Dev, just kids who walked by the Sarika, Metta Kalu took the kids and said, you're useless, Nanak, you can't bring up my children, you can't look after my daughter, I'm taking them all home. And we don't talk about that part of Sikh history, you know. Well, their father didn't go to see Dasal Pasha until he was 6 years old. He was only like 200 miles away in Bangladesh. He went far away, you know what I mean? He could have come over and said, hello, how you doing, son? But he left him for 60 years. He didn't even come to see the bird. Yeah? So the thing is, we don't look at that part now. We use our little examples and like to, you know, like qualify our own worldly view. So, and it's not our fault. We've not been taught these things outside of the box. So anybody that comes to smell the God, when he can get the girl, nang japo, amrit shago, minu paise do.
No.
Yeah? Because he needs to, so he can't break out the circle because he's actually in the circle. He's actually living that. So he just wants you to say, yeah, take over it, have your Mercedes on the drive, have a 5-bedroom house, have 3 kids and die, and you're back here. You didn't go anywhere. You're reborn in Smethwick. God damn, man. You know what I mean? We're trying to get out of this night. 50 years later, we're back. You're born to our children. God, play over. And it. Hurry up.
Karam, I know if you do the parts of an optics, say, not hit to a job with some kid, but it's so that when you get the full or like paying the job or you get funders or he died beyond plastic.
You know why I won't get angry? You know when you got a colour band, you know his twisted brain, his weak shit. But he's not a guest in this talk there. He's the first person here. He's like, what are you doing here, bro? Yeah, he's about halfway, but anyway. What he say? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, what the question he put, yeah, you're so bad, yeah. You've got screwball talk here. Shake me down, Wayne. I don't want to go down here. You can ask me later. Anyway, what he said is, if he does Naam Japna, let's be clear, yeah. If he does Naam Japna for some exams that he's got coming up, yeah, which he needs to pass, yeah, we'll let the base recap them the Naam, yeah. So if he does some Naam Japna, pass his exams, the question he's asking is, does all the fall of the Naam Japna go into the from on top of the exams, or does it also go to other stuff? So his question's quite good, to be fair, but it's a sneaky question for himself. But anyway, Naam Japna, even if you do it just for a car, a house, the kids, your disease, whatever it may be, it still solves other problems. Because the whole point is you're supposed to get Bhavana Naam. Once you get the Bhavana, then you might start doing it without having the desire. Does that make sense, yeah? And it does work further as well than you're just that, yeah, because Guru Sahib's all blessing. So we in India, I think I go through, I'm not going to name the talk, we started paying the parties. So we had account parties. And what we started doing is we started saying to them, we'll give you 20 rupees if you sit in the hall and do similar for an hour. So they do their duty, then they come and sit in the hall. And then I have to supervise them to make sure they're not falling asleep and whatever. So they clock in 20 rupees an hour extra. And some of them would sit there for 8 hours, I'm not lying yet, and then do 2 rounds as well, so they'd be doing 12 hours. But then they're doing the Naam Japna for the money. But the view of the Sadhu Sant was, we don't care, I see another loan I is passing. Even if we're bribing them to do it, like Bhagat Farid, the mother, Hannah. So we're doing it to get them on. Plus then they're not staying in the room and talking, just chilling and sleeping. So it's getting them started. And one day they might give up the money and just starting, but yeah, they get into it. Yeah. So it's quite interesting when I see these guys doing it. Some of them would do it like religiously. It's just ludicrous. We stopped doing it now. But it used to be really bad when there's someone who's doing like, be like, whoa, bro, you can like here all day. But anyway, study Gurbani and its meanings. That's one thing none of us do properly. And we've not got Vidya or stars to do that, Hannah. So that's what we really need to do. Yeah, and we don't need to go to any again. You don't need to go to anyone. If you got Bhavana, Guru Sahib's there. Guru Sahib's put it back. You're not in some book or anything like that. Guru Sahib will start speaking to you. They'll show you the art. They'll show you everything. You don't need to go to anything. Yeah, so people like Badal Dev Singh did it themselves. They didn't go to know Vidya Allah. They didn't go to anything. They just did the Naam Japna and it came. So the thing is, you can do it. Obviously, there's schools of thought which do teach us, but what I'm saying is, in our Kaljug lives, most of us are not going to do that. But if we have the Barman Maharaj, they'll teach us anyway, and you'll get Karam Indriya, which will teach you what you need to know as well then. Yeah? And again, according to your Karam, you're going to get the people who are spiritual around you. Yeah? So that's what you get according to your Karam. And I'll be honest, I feel sorry for a lot of people because I had some superpowers in my life, yeah? And a lot of people are not going to have those people or get near to that level of Kirpa, of having people who actually one with God. Any skill that you do not depend with it. That's the whole point, yeah? Now, Interwoven makes up that. For some of you, the PowerPoint through this up here. And on its tone. What? So, through this up for Interwoven. So, I don't know, Interwoven makes up a railway track. It's always going forward with this piece of wood built in, yeah? So, how does Karam work in terms of how the actions relate? So I'm going to give you this Sakya. I'll do the Pankti first because that's going to draw your attention first, yeah? So Datte dos na do kise dos karam apne jo mein kiya so main paya dos na dije avne. So what he's saying is, this is a shabd which goes through certain letters. So saying the there, the letter, yeah? What we talk about for this letter is dos na do kise. Don't blame anyone else. Dos karam apne. The blame is on yourself, whatever you've done in your life. Yeah? Whatever I did, and I reap the results of that, yeah? Those not DJ and I don't blame anyone else. We are going to go into all kinds of other things before anyone jumps to that, yeah? So there's part of that in the moment, yeah? So we've got a little story here. This is gonna, if I get the story right, it'll be good. If I get the story wrong, it'll be terrible. So there's a holy man. He's doing meditation in the forest, and he's got a vow of silence. Yeah? So he's living in the forest. And what happens is, a deer runs past him. The deer runs past him, or is it a cow? It doesn't matter. A deer, let's say, stick with the deer again. Deer runs past him. A guy comes, who's a king, who's hunting the deer. And he says to the holy man, where did the deer go? And the holy man says, does that say it's gone that way? With his hands. Yeah? So the king, whatever he is, he chases the deer down, kills it, whatever it is. This holy man becomes the pandit or the purohit for the king. Yeah? So some years later he becomes the pandit, so he's the house priest, let's say, for the king. Yeah? The king's son gets married. When he gets married, his wife comes to the house after the marriage, so marriage night, yeah? His wife, she can't get to sleep, new house, new surroundings, whatever, yeah? She's walking around looking at the room, her husband's asleep on the bed. She finds a kirpan, a big talwar, yes, a 3-foot kirpan. Starts looking at the kirpan, like staring at it and stuff. She drops the kirpan. The kirpan falls on the prince's neck, stabs it, kills it. He's dead. She's like, banga vega. Well, he's not. So she's like, what do I do now? She'll get hanged on. So she's like, what do I do? So what she does is, she just starts screaming. She starts screaming, the guards come in. And she points to the window to say someone went out the window. And then what she does is she doesn't speak. After that point, she doesn't speak. So they say to her, even though she's not speaking, they're sort of communicating with her, she's in shock or whatever, yeah? They say, what we'll do is we'll get all the people who live in the kingdom to come in a line, and you just identify the person. She points at the Raj Purohit, so the Pandit. She says he did it. And so she says he did it. The king says, look, you're a priest, you're a Brahmin. I can't kill you, I'm going to get Brahmin there. So it's like a thing, you can't kill a Brahmin. It's equivalent to a Brahmin, is what the Hindu Dharma says. Yes, so he's like, I can't kill you because of who you are. But what I can do is I'll chop your hands off. So he chops his hands off. This guy's lost his hands. He hears of someone who's got Antarjanta. So Antarjanta is a power. You can have different levels of it. Yeah, like I can look ahead and read a mind now, yeah? But, oh no, I don't want it. But anyway, so Antarjanta is different levels of it. You can read people's minds. You can also know what's going to happen now. You can know what's going to happen tomorrow. You can know what's happened in the past 50 years ago. You can have a dream of what's going to happen tomorrow. I had a dream a few days ago. Tyson Fury knocked out Joshua in 9 seconds in the first round. I don't know if that's going to... But anyway, it's crazy dream. But anyway, so with Antarjanta, there's different levels to it, yeah? So what happened is he heard of a guy who can tell you why you've undergone an action and knows what happened in your last 3 lives. So he goes to find this guy, he goes to his house. And when he gets to his house, he says, like, I'm finding this guy, whatever his name is, yeah. And the wife says, oh, bustle, yeah, like, you looking for that animal, yeah? Just start swearing at her husband. And the guy thinks, like, what's going on here? Like, this guy knows he's got anti-jump on his last previous life. Why would he get married to her? If he knows she's so abusive towards him, why would he do it? Well, that's what's going on here. So he's faith in that guy to tell him what he was going to know. He's lost at that point. The guy's not at home. So he walks out the house, starts walking away. As he's walking away, the guy sees him leaving his house. He said, why did you go up to the house? He said, I heard of this guy. And he goes, yeah, it's me. He goes, so why did you get married to her? He goes, don't worry. He goes, come with me, I'll tell you. And he goes, I'll tell you what's happened with your hands as well. I said, okay then. So I said, what do you want to do first? Do you want to do? He goes, no, first, tell me why your wife's swearing at you. He said, forget my hand at the moment, yeah? I'll be that first, yeah? We'll be like that, yeah? And the guy said, he said, look, in a previous life, I was a bird, a crow, and my wife was a cow or a buffalo. I think she's a man, you know? And the buffalo used to come to, I said, pond to drink water from, or a shepherd, or a lake, yeah? And daily occurrence used to be the mud would come, drink the water, and the crow would come and jump on its back and start pecking it to get on its nerves. Yeah, so this is a daily occurrence. One day, the buffalo didn't come on the allotted time, you know, like the daily occurrence, yeah? So then this is the breakfast trip, whatever, didn't turn up there, a bit late. Comes, and the crow's furious that the buffalo's come late. So what the crow does is it goes with all its power, with its beak, towards it, and it lodges its whole beak into it because it's so angry. What happens is the buffalo freaks out, falls in the water, the crow dies, and the buffalo dies. Yeah? And he said, I was the crow, she's the buffalo. And I was the one pecking her every day in the previous life. So now I have to hear her swears every day. Yeah? I'm just paying that back. That's all that's happening here. It's nothing that I knew that who she was and I knew this was going to happen. But I have to undergo that Karam now. I have to just undo it. So he said, okay, then, so tell me about hands. He said, 20, 30 years ago, you were in the forest and you pointed in that direction of the deer going that way. The deer is the princess reborn and she's now got him back for killing. Does that make sense? Yeah? So the Interwoven, don't ask up if you're confused, yeah, because everyone else in the room got it, yeah. But don't worry about that. The red light's flashing, it's fine. Yeah? So that's how Interwoven I got them all. Yeah? Even you coming here today, there's some Marek on them, I think you should come in here today. But yeah, it's Interwoven, so it's not as simple as like things just happen. Okay. Where are we going? Qualifying this all, and which one cannot? The general Sikh view is if you're doing a fagdi, you break free of all Karam. Yeah? So what they call that is Keval Mukti or Videhi Mukti. Videhi Keval Mukti means basically you never get the human life again. You never get a body again. Yeah? If you're a Bhagat who's involved in Sadhguna Fasana, which is you love your Guru when you say to your Guru, even if you get Brahmgyan, you'll probably be sent back commissions to the world. People who are Nirvana Fasana, they don't ever come back. Does that make sense, yeah? And then the other side of it is, there's another view, which is, if you get Brahmgyan, well, you still come back to the earth. When you come back, you know why you're undergoing all the Karam, so you just become like a perfect actor. So internally, you're always imbued in God, but you just live out your life in actions. Does that make sense? So so even that guy could have been a Brahmgyani really, but he's not got freedom of losing his rebirth. You get it? So what they say, so there's two views. Our Sikh view generally is basically, we believe we get Vidya Mukti, we're done, we don't come back. But other people say, some people come back, even though they're Brahmgyanis, and they just underlive their lives and they just undergo their karma, and they're not affected by anything.
But have you ever noticed that when like something's about to happen, it's, oh, I got free will, like you X, Y, and Z, but then when it happened, it's like, well, actually, it had to happen.
It's partly that as well, but see, I was reading Vishish Yog a day or two, I've been seeing screenshots, and what he was saying in there was that he was saying nothing's destiny. It's all self-effort. You created the destiny and you're changing the destiny. It's all your own call. So he was actually saying, you know how we say Bana? He was actually saying there's nothing. See, the Bana translation really is self-effort because you created the Bana. Does that make sense? So we live in a women hope of will start saving us, don't we? But what he was actually saying at that point in the history of things, it's a long 1,000-page grant here. It's not a simple one yet. You look at the book and you're like, what am I doing here? But and I'm on my second reading. But that's one chapter in there, a few pages, and Vashisht is actually saying that to Ram, saying that, look, actually, it's your self-effort, nothing's partner. You created it. Anyway, war crimes, because I know someone's going to come back with this and say, well, what happens when someone does this or whatever, yes? The Khalsa follows a moral code in the world, so you've got something called rest or discipline. So we don't victim blame or shame due to the gun. Yeah? So we don't do that. So what we do in converse to that, we've got a duty as Sikhs to seek out justice and uphold that justice. That's our role and the Khalsa in the world. That's what we're supposed to do as Sikhs. That's what we were told to do. So we're not to go and turn around someone as a victim or something and say, oh, it's your own fault because that's what you've got on with. Because we haven't got the answer to know what happened before or after. Yeah, that's one thing. And the second thing is, if you go to some Sant Baba and he's a charlatan, you're going to get it wrong as well. Yeah? Because he's probably just not in his pockets. Or she. You have some big as well. Yeah? But that's not to say I'm anti-Sant Mahaprabhu. I'm probably the most pro-Sant Mahaprabhu that you'll find, but there's too many charlatans. But anyway, and we are, going back to the start, and we are self-defeatist a lot as well. So, Karma Maria, Mere Mare, Karam Singh, yeah? So, you know when someone dies, you go to do a source. When I go to a source at anyone's house, I don't speak. I don't actually say anything that I'm not supposed to say. Watch and go, because that's true. But you can't say that. They kick you in the head, they kick you out of the house. You know what I mean? You can't say that. I'm going to put him out of expunge this diamond, he's gone, he'll have to come back. And he says, bro, will he be okay? But you know what I mean? So we are soft. It wasn't in my gun to like, but I played card all night, yeah? It's not in my gun to do one at the end. Yeah? It's in your gun, but to spend 5 hours on PlayStation playing Call of Duty or watching Netflix. We'll take our money all that. So when we've got free will, we'll take our money around that. They penny free will. It's here, I can go to like that BP, go I'm telling you, what was it? The benches at the Godda. You read bench in the Godda, and we got her on the video and doing Gary at the party hall. Yeah? She's saying disabled, but then she's doing Gary at the party hall. We got BP and Morsel as well, four with us at the Godda to have benches. They can sit on my stool for an hour, but then they don't sit on the bench. Like, make it make sense, you know what I mean? But anyway, so we're always self-defeatist on ourselves to just use gun philosophy as an excuse. Yeah? But we've got free will and free power. You can actually rule the earth, the heaven, and the hells in human life. We call it Tret and Loki Raja. And we've had them in the past. Yeah? So it's not like, you know, they're saying like Hitler tried to conquer the world, Trump's trying to conquer America, whatever it is, yeah, and we'll be the India. We've had people who rule the whole world, and the heavens, and the hells, in human life. But we don't know about that because our knowledge is so limited to what we see in Sonic and Netflix and Instagram. Any questions, Avna? Sorry, that's all I was going to end it like that. Sorry, a bit over. Angie.